Welcome back, my fellow purple nerds. Thank you again for joining me on the channel. Today we are going to continue on talking about the albums released by The Time. The Time's second album, What Time Is It?, was released August 25th, 1982. It peaked at number 26 on Billboard's Top 200 and number 2 on Billboard's R&B albums. The album sold over 500,000 copies during its initial release, and that was due to the successful singles released 7/7/93/11, The Walk, and Gigolos Get Lonely Too. Promotion from the music video for The Walk.
It's called The Walk, just let your body talk till your...
And being part of the Triple Threat tour with Prince and Vanity 6 also led to the success of this project. All of the songs on this project were written and produced by Prince, with the exception of Wild and Loose, which was co-written by Des Dickerson. Vanity 6 has a speaking role on the song Wild and Loose, and Vanity has a speaking role on the song The Walk. Just like their debut album, all the songs started off as solo projects by Prince. He would have Morris come in the studio and sing over his lead vocals and then remove his own lead vocals in post. To further explain this, here is an example with the song Gigolos Get Lonely Too. Here is Prince's original guide track.
Gigolos get lonely too.
And now this is the final version with Morris Day on lead.
Gigolos get lonely too.
The album is credited to The Time and Prince's alter ego Jamie Starr. Time member Terry Lewis's brother Jerome Benton was added to the group as more or less the comic foil of the group, as well as Morris's personal valet. During the tour, The Time always wanted to upstage Prince and his band, and this would typically lead to a lot of over-the-top pranks, which would then lead to physical fights between both bands. During this tour, specifically the San Antonio show, Jerome had to go on stage and pretend to play the bass while Prince was backstage actually playing the bass, and then Lisa from Prince's band had to go and stand in as the keyboardist for The Time. This was because Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis were nowhere to be found. And exactly where were they? Well, they were stuck in Atlanta due to a freak blizzard that hit Atlanta. But then again, why were they in Atlanta? Well, that's because Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis were doing production on the side for other groups, primarily the group Climax and the SOS Band. They were there in Atlanta producing one of their albums when this freak blizzard came and hit Atlanta, stranding them there for the night. This led to the two of them being fired from the group. Now then, depending on whose story you listen to will vary on who actually fired them. Morris Day has always said that Prince fired them, but Prince has stated, and I'm going to quote this one, "All I told Morris was that if they were in my band, I would fire them," insinuating that Morris Day was the one that actually fired them. We kick things off with the song Wild and Loose. This funky song is broken up into 3 parts. The first part of the song is the song itself. We have all the verses, all the choruses, and the song is pretty much describing what The Time likes in their women, which is wild and loose. Part 2 of this song, and we're still having the music play throughout this part, is actually a sketch or a skit. We hear a bunch of guys talking on one side, we hear a bunch of ladies talking on the other side. The ladies are actually voiced by the members of Vanity 6, and they're talking about how amazing The Time was on stage and how all the members are so amazing and hot. One of the girls see Morris walking by and attempts to talk to him, and he pretty much disses him and shuts him down, which leads to the crowd noise of the ladies now complaining about how terrible The Time are and how none of them look good. The third part of this song is a call-out session between Morris and what apparently is the rest of the band. Recording-wise, it's probably just him and Prince yelling back and forth with each other and making it sound like a large group is being present. 7/7/93/11, known for years for its intricate beat, only for Jesse Johnson, the guitarist from The Time, to come and put Prince on blast and say, no, he did not make that beat, that was just a stock beat on his Lin M1 drum machine. The phone number that the song is named after was an actual real phone number and happened to be Prince's bandmate's phone number, Des Dickerson. After the single came out for this song, he obviously had to change his phone number. The song was sampled on Tupac's song, What's Your Phone Number?
One day I'm gonna be somebody. One day I'm
One Day I'm Gonna Be Somebody is almost like a continuation of the song After High School from their debut album. It's a pretty self-explanatory title, so you kind of get what the song's about.
Everybody walk your body.
The Walk is another song that's pretty much broken up into three parts. We have the beginning part, which is them describing the dance and how you do it. The second part of it is a whole bunch of sporadic one-liners by Morris Day, and for some reason done in a southern accent and then later in his super pimp voice. And then we get into the third part, which is more or less a skit or sketch, which is Morris Day talking to a young lady played by Vanity. Of course, while this is going on, the music of the song is still continuing to play. He is convincing her to come to the club with him where they can in fact do the walk all night long. But before they go there, he's not really digging how she's dressed and wants her to go ahead and put on a camisole. But doing so, they have some issues in changing her garments as she's wearing some really tight jeans, and as Morris finds out when the jeans come off, she has a whole lot of booty that she was packing in them jeans. Morris's reaction to this is quite hilarious.
I've had my share of fooling around.
Gigolos Get Lonely Too is a tongue-in-cheek ballad of how difficult it is to be a gigolo. We end the album with the song I Don't Want to Leave You, which is a pretty fitting song to end an album with. But the song itself ends kind of weird. It abruptly just stops, and then for 30 seconds or so, we get the beat for the song Makeup from the Vanity 6 album playing, and it's kind of odd. I would like to thank you all for joining me again on the channel. Please like and share this video as much as possible, and as always, please subscribe to the channel. And until the next episode, I wish you heaven.